Well, let's just see if I have what it takes to be the next Diamond Chef.
Alan, I hate to burst your bubble, but we've already got that covered.
No, really?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to at least keep the hat.
Alan, we're glad to have you here today.
Well, this is quite a place.
Well, thank you. This is our community education classroom where we do just that. The community comes in and learns different skills.
A really active place, I can see.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
We stay busy.
Todd, really, why do you think there's so much interest in culinary arts and the management of culinary arts?
I would say over the last 20 years, you can go back to the industry really taking a move towards being more professional, and then with with celebrity chefs, more interest, and everybody wanting to get on camera.
Yeah.
But there's such a
little human ego in there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's such a need for qualified culinarians, hospitality professionals, baking and pastry professionals as well too.
Just fairly recently, in the past 10 years, 15 years, certainly, the food scene in America has really changed. The expectations are much higher, I think, from the public for what they're being served.
Absolutely. I think our consumers are more knowledgeable, understand the integrity of the product, where it comes from, if it's grassroots or not, and so our chefs have to be prepared to answer to that.
Yeah. The whole farm-to-table movement has really raised the bar in terms of the food experience.
Absolutely, and I think it's a good thing.
So what kinds of things get the community jazzed about what you guys are doing here?
Our big event that's 10 years old that we were talking about earlier, Diamond Chef. It's such a huge event, and 500-600 people come to see the chefs cook live and have a great time.
Fun. So in this case, the community gets an opportunity to come here and really interface with students and some of these culinary professionals and see this exhibition, if you will, live.
Absolutely. It's a great competition we'll have. And, from 6 to 9, these guests get to see the competition go down and see who the winner is.
Everybody loves a little competition.
Absolutely.
And what about the food? Do they get to sample some of the things?
Yeah, we have 4 different food stations and 7 signature cocktails. Each of our competing chefs gave us a signature cocktail.
Well, there's another incentive to come.
Absolutely.
That's great.
It's a great time.
Well, I know you've got a lot to get ready for with the next Diamond Chef deal. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for coming.
I've really enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Now that we've gotten familiar with the setting, let's meet some of our competitors, the Diamond Chef hopefuls.
I went to the Art Institute of Houston.
I'm actually a 3rd-generation chef.
I started at Waffle House.
I'm a classic French trend chef.
I love Asian food.
I've been doing farm to table before I think there was actually a term called farm to table.
Being from the Gulf and things like that, I enjoy cooking the fresh seafood and things like that.
I like doing a new American cuisine, like bringing back old classic French dishes back in a new way.
The cooking style that I have, I'm more classically French trained, but more of just classic French meets Southern.
I didn't have a passion for Southern food per se, but it's where I come from, so I wanted to figure out a way to incorporate Southern food into what I was doing.
I grew up in France and I was not a very good student in high school, and I don't want to go back to school, and my father put me to work in a restaurant. The owner of the restaurant he put me in culinary school.
I'm coming back as reigning champion.
The Diamond Chef competition, the first time I did that was, I want to say 4 years ago. And then last year, I was asked to compete as a chef with my team, and we actually made it to the finals. So this will be 10 years of Diamond Chef this year, so last year was number 9. I think I've competed in 7 of those 9 years.
You know, in my career, I've never done any kind of competitions or anything like that. I've always been just so busy with work and things like that, so.
I love competition. I love getting out there, putting myself out there on the line, and sometimes you fall flat on your face, and other times you win.
I like to compete, you know, it's like, you know, it's not for the prize, it's just like, and that when the technique show, the knowledge show, you know, and the creativity show.
I enjoy competing. I'm kind of I like the rush of it. It's all good, you know. If we win, that's just icing on the cake, so.
In the chef's world, it's a really small world. We all know each other. We're all good friends, and it's still a competition, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it's for a good cause. And
we're all friends, you know, until that time hits, and then it's like, you know, it's kind of on, you know. And, you know, we like to talk some smack, you know.
Oh yeah, you're in it to win it 100%. There's no need to go out there and try to lose, right?
Put mint inside the or inside the avocado and orange salad.
Chef Donnie's done. Chef Donnie's done.
This would be my 4th time competing in Diamond Chef, and I've won it twice already. So, you know, it's a really great competition. The best part about it is we raise so much money for culinary students, and to get to see those young minds get excited over us chefs coming in, I mean, it takes us back to being in culinary school and cooking for our instructor for the first time, because no matter how cool we play it, we're all nervous. At least I know I am.
That's looking good. Okay, so we've met the chefs, we've gotten familiar with the venue here. Now let's learn a little bit about the history of the Diamond Chef. So we're going to talk to Vice Chancellor of Advancement, Shannon Boshiers.
Diamond Chef Arkansas, each chef is allowed 2 sous chefs to bring in. We have these, for each round, we have mystery ingredients that we roll out, and they just have to, you know, come up with the best they can, the best plates they can. The chefs that we bring in for Diamond Chef are we bring them in from around the nation. These guys are top culinary experts in their field. The things they're judged on, of course, are going to be probably their creativity of the dish, and the taste and the plating of it. Those 3 things are usually the tops in how they're judged.
Get the meat. 30 seconds.
Well, it's that moment we've been waiting for. Who can claim the title of Diamond Chef?
you know, I didn't really get nervous. I kind of knew what to expect, but when you see your banner, you see a 20-foot banner of yourself, you know, it's a little overwhelming. That's when it gets real to me. That's when it kind of, oh wow, we're in a competition, we got to do this. So
I'm used to competition. I do ACF competitions across the country as well, so I'm familiar with those, and I love them. This competition has always been a personal favorite of mine because it's all of a sudden, here it is. Here's the basket, you open it up and you go, oh.
Mystery baskets. You never know what they're going to put inside, and sometimes it's like a bit crazy. I remember one year was some kind of baby food.
All 6 of us chefs competed with the same ingredient. We did beef, we drew straws. It was fun. They gave us a whole primal.
I gave every chef a different cut, and I got eye of round, which I got the luckiest out of all the cuts of beef.
Hey guys, we have a whole cow. Everybody gets a subprimal. Yeah, that's great if you get you can pull a tenderloin or a steak or something, but we drew brisket, and that made our challenge all the more crazy. We tried to do it, we did like a really thinly shaved brisket that we braised, you know, for 20 minutes.
You have some shallot, oyster mushroom.
How much more time we got in here?
Always pressure, man. This is what we do.
My game plan for this is no matter what the secret ingredient was going to be, they were going to get one of it, they're going to have a raw course. So good for them it was beef and not chicken.
It's a little bit chaotic. They have to come in with a plan because 20 minutes is not very long. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody's hands up, hands up.
Well, you know, the overall appeal is the eye appeal. The first thing you see is going to be the eye. So the plate presentation. Then, of course, after that is the taste and how the main ingredient, you know, has been used.
All right, so today we're going over one of my favorite dishes that I kind of specialize in. So we're gonna pan sear a beef tenderloin fillet here. So we've got some beef tenderloin that we've cut to about a 5 to 6 ounce fillet, and we're gonna put a nice seasoning on there. But before we do any of this, I wanna take it and I wanna dry it off. In like 97 or 98, had no idea how to boil water, and a friend of mine was going to apply at Waffle House, and I thought, what do you have to do to be a cook at Waffle House, right? So I filled out the application, they called me, I didn't have a job, so I took it, and the rest is history, man. So we'll take a little bit of olive oil and put it under a skillet here, and it's already getting nice and smoking hot. So once that's going, we'll take our fillets, and this is the noise you want to hear when you put it in there. All right, you want that good sizzle, because that's going to start forming that crust on the outside. So I've got some julienne vegetables here, just a nice mixture of Brussels sprouts and kale. And then I've also got a nice mixture of white and green garbanzo beans. A lot of color on the plate. I love to get produce from local people. I love, you know, the farm to table approach. I think sustainable farming is really the way to go. Whether it be farm to table as in like it's local within, you know, 100 miles of you, or maybe the plant is local to farmers within 100 miles. And then I'm getting my product from that plant that's sustained by just the local farmers around that plant. All right, let's look at the crust on this steak right now. See if it's forming. Oh yeah, that's what you want to see, that nice brown edges of that steak. And then as we get closer to doneness, we're gonna turn it down and we're gonna throw some whole butter in there, and we're gonna baste those steaks in butter. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some onion in there as well, just to season it up. So rewards of being in the culinary industry are gonna be aching back, hurt feet. No, it's gonna be instant gratification. I put that plate out and I can see immediately if somebody is happy or not. And one of the only industries I know of where I look in the trash to see if I've been successful. Because if there's not a lot of food in the trash, we've done a great job. We've got some caramelized onions here to finish. We've got our demi-glaze. It's a hard profession. You know, there's multiple hours on your feet, doing things, repetitive motions with your body. You have to love what you do. And luckily, I was blessed enough to love what I do before I even knew that I loved what I did. Like our demi-glaze. Take that nice, beautiful pan-seared filet, put that right on top, get some of our caramelized onions. And you have one of my favorite dishes, a nice pan-seared filet of beef, some demi-glaze, simple food done well, nice, attractive plate. Nothing to it, right?
sauteed, crispy skinned Scottish salmon with sauteed summer veggies. The cooking style that I have, I'm more classically French trained, and I've got a huge northern influence working around Chicago and Iowa and all those parts in between. Moving to the South, I kind of let the Southern food kind of grab my soul a little bit. I've been doing farm to table before I think there was actually a term called farm to table, but more of just classic French meets Southern meets farmer, I guess, is kind of my cooking style. We'll throw some garlic in here. Now let's go ahead and cool that pan down. Smell that garlic. Throw some tomatoes in there. Now let's check in our salmon here. It's important that you keep that skin intact. Being a chef and loving the farm-to-table concept, I've been a huge supporter of all of our local farmers. I'm not one of those chefs that puts 1,000 names of the farms on my dish. I don't want it to read, like a novel before you order your food. But definitely, there'll always be mentions on our menus or, the chalkboard with their names on it. I definitely let the customers know where they're eating from. There we go. Beautiful skin right there. So now what we've got going on here, we've got a nice sear on the bottom starting. We're just going to put a little more seasoning right on top. Just a touch of white wine just to add a little bit of acid, flavor, and that moisture will go ahead and help steam right through that asparagus. Kind of wake those tomatoes up as well, kind of bring everything together. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the oven, let it finish for about 5 minutes. You want a perfect medium on this, just so it looks a little bit pink in the middle. So, going to culinary school, I think it's definitely given me an edge, and working with some very classically trained chefs. Cleaning up after myself, paying attention to sauces and keeping it simple and not overdoing it with everything. And, I'm not one of those tweezer chefs, and so even though I am classically trained, the tweezers really have no place in our kitchen. Our theory on food is, use great ingredients, kind of let them speak for themselves, and definitely don't overdo it, keep it somewhat simple. And just drizzle that all over the plate. And there you go.
What do you think?
I think it's good.
Yeah?
You're pretty close.
As I've mentioned, I've got a bit of a surprise for the chefs. In the final round, I'm providing the secret ingredient, and if you know me at all, I bet you can guess what I'm going to provide. You're looking at a little piece of history here with this barred Plymouth Rock. This is a true American breed. It was developed in the mid to late 19th century, and there she goes. This breed is one of 2 that serve as the foundation for the meat chicken today. Sorry about that. The Plymouth Rock and the Cornish come together to create the Cornish Rock Cross, which is what's used today. But this breed, the barred Plymouth Rock, goes way back. These Plymouth Rocks became very popular in the late 19th century and early 20th centuries because of their dual purpose on the farm. The hens laid lots of eggs, they were big. The hens would weigh anywhere from 6 to 8 pounds. The roosters much larger. The hens lay a nice big brown egg, and well, all the extra roosters ended up in the noodle pot. And the hens, well, they lived out a long, happy life. As you can see, they're both beautiful and they have a very gentle disposition. Think about adding a few barred Plymouth Rocks to your flock.
Let's see that mystery ingredient. They got to produce 4 plates in the first round and then 4 plates in the second round, and we'll figure out who's going to be Diamond Chef 2016.
So we're going to do fried chicken with sweet potato hash. We're going to do bacon. We're going to render the bacon. I want that cooking.
I feel like we could do more with what we have, right? Okay. So instead of just doing a breast or a thigh, what else can we do? The first course. Yeah, like take some of the leg meat.
Our Diamond Chef 2016. Jason, I'm sorry, it's not you. Donnie.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. I hope you've had as much fun as I have following the Diamond Chef competition. You don't have to be a professional chef to enjoy competitive cooking. After all, we need spectators and we need tasters. Until next time, I'm Alan Smith. There you go. How's it looking? Oops, tore it there. It's looking great, don't you think?
It looks really good.
Yeah, yummy. Mm-hmm.
All
right, and action.
So how am I doing with the pierogies?
Very good.
So is that going to be the eye, you think?
Yes, I'm gonna make it bigger.
I like it. I like it.